What's up, fellas? The goal of the day is to save about $400. Well, they want 600 bucks, but we got to spend a little cash to make this happen. So we've got a Widowmaker that's about 40 feet in the air. It's got an 8-inch diameter base. Here is the plan. We spent about $190 on this bow. This is a fishing bow. We have removed the barb and the arrow tip. It's a pretty heavy arrow right there, and we're going to give this a shot. We are going to shoot the string over a branch. We're going to then tie it to a larger rope, pull that larger rope up over the branch that's going to have a grappling hook on the end of it. And then we're going to pull it down with a truck. This is a closer look at our grappling hook. It was tested and I bent it. So I put some welding beads on there to kind of stiffen it up. And this is going to get snagged in between the Y of a branch as we're pulling it up. And it's going to let us pull it on down. As for the fishing bow, this is made out of injection molded aluminum, I think. And this is called the Cajun fish stick. I believe Cajun is like Asian for swamp billy. Okay, fellas, I don't know if you can see me over there by the house. This thing does not shoot in the upward direction very well. It's the first time I've done this, so I got lucky with the amount of power I put into it. The arrow went right over an area that will work good enough. It's about 45 feet in the air. So now what we're going to do is we're going to let the arrow fall down, and we are going to attach this very small string to a rope, and we're going to pull that rope up. But it's important how you tie the string to the rope, because you can't have any knots on there and you don't want it to slide off. So what I did was gave it a single tie about 6 inches down the top of the rope, and then I taped it off with electrical tape real good, and I made sure to make an electrical tape cone. Once we got it down, we did have to throw it back over a branch so that it would come through that other set of branches without ripping it down. So that's what I'm doing right there. I threw the arrow back over. Now we have the rope ready to go. We're going to start pulling it up here as soon as I get done taping it. If you don't tape that little cone on there, the rope will get snagged in the Y point we're pulling it through, because we're pulling this through a wishbone, if you will. So there's the rope coming up. If we can get that through the wishbone, we're gold. And it looks like it went right through. I don't know if you can see how high up that is, but it's pretty high up there. Watch how high this grappling hook goes. Okay, I now have the rope in my hand. We are in business. There's the grappling hook going up. Try and keep your eye on the grappling hook. I should have painted it orange, so you can see how high up that this Widowmaker is. It's sitting on a thin blade of wood because a branch ripped off and left a very thin sliver, almost like a reed of wood. Not sure if you've seen how high up that went. Now we're bringing in the old work truck, and we're going to hook up to it. I'm going to pull this down. Now, the blade of wood that it is connected to or sitting on is also rotated about 40 degrees, so it's split. So it's just leaning up there. It's not really sitting up there very good at all. We're pulling in the downward direction quite a bit, but here it comes. It doesn't look like a very big branch here, but I'm telling you, the base of this thing's right around 7 to 8 inches wide. So we got it down in that position. We're now going to tie off to it and pull it the rest of the way out of the tree. Do a little triple wrap on that. And we'll take a look at it here in a second. You'll see what I mean by thin blade. It was already broken at the base because a branch was located in that position, and that branch fell off. It's a pretty big branch, by the way. Alright guys, so this is a pretty big Widowmaker here. This would have killed somebody. I don't want no one to get hurt. Not sure how much money I just saved myself, but at least 400 bucks because they have a minimum for bringing their machinery out here, and I think it's like $450. Okay guys, so half of this thing split off in a storm, and this thing was sitting there on that thin split piece that you see right there. So it was just barely sitting up there leaning against the other branches. So there you have it, fellas. That was a very valid process. That thing was sitting up there on a thin blade of wood that was about 1 inch wide and about 6 inches long. The other half had been ripped off in a storm, and I let it sit for a week hoping that another storm would blow it down, but it just got a little hazardous. I don't want people walking around the house with that big limb just precariously sitting up there. Not only was it split, but it was rotated on that blade. So it was completely severed and just barely sitting on that broken piece of wood. So it was not really up there very good at all. So I don't know, think I saved myself like 400 bucks there. Thought I'd bring you guys along for the ride because it's kind of an odd way of doing it.